At 41 years old, something has happened in the life of Christian worship musician and powerhouse vocalist Fantasia Barrino. Something unexpected, emotional, and deeply spiritual. The same woman who survived poverty, abuse, heartbreak, and the pressures of fame is now entering a chapter that has the entire music world whispering. For years, Fantasia's voice shook arenas, but today, it is her soul that is shaking people. Fans say they never saw this coming. Her quiet battles, her personal struggles, and her spiritual transformation have brought her to a life-changing moment that feels more like destiny than coincidence. Fantasia says a different kind of fire is burning inside her now. Not the fire of ambition, but the fire of calling. A fire she believes comes directly from God. To understand this moment, we must go back to the beginning. Fantasia Barrino grew up in a faith-filled home in North Carolina. Church music was not just entertainment. It was a way of life. But outside the church walls, her life was full of challenges. By the age of 16, she was a mother. She survived abusive situations. She struggled financially. She fought to protect her daughter while trying to understand her own identity. Nothing in her life came easy. Every step required strength she never knew she had. And yet, through every struggle, her voice remained her refuge. Her voice carried her pain, her story, and her resilience. In 2004, when she auditioned for American Idol, the world witnessed a miracle in real time. Her voice was not polished by fame, it was shaped by life. Her iconic performance of Summertime is still considered one of the greatest in the show's history. It didn't just win her the competition. It introduced her as a woman with a voice that could reach the deepest corners of the human heart. But with success came pressure. With fame came expectations. Fantasia found herself trapped between public praise and private pain. She struggled with financial problems, emotional trauma, and the burden of constant scrutiny. Behind the lights and cameras, she was often overwhelmed, lonely, and spiritually disconnected. Over the years, Fantasia tried to reclaim her peace. She made music. She reflected on her past. She focused on motherhood. She sought love and healing, and in that process, she slowly began reconnecting with the spiritual foundation she had drifted from. But the true awakening, the true shift, didn't happen instantly. It came quietly, through years of internal battles, late-night prayers, and moments when she felt God calling her back. At 41, Fantasia says she is finally answering that call. She is stepping into a chapter where faith is not just a part of her identity, it is the center of her life and her music. Asterisk. While the world saw a successful singer, a Grammy winner, and a respected entertainer, Fantasia was fighting silent battles behind closed doors. She dealt with emotional exhaustion, fear of failure, and the heavy weight of public expectations. She struggled to trust people, struggled to understand herself, and struggled to maintain peace in an industry built on chaos. Fame did not fix her wounds. In many ways, it magnified them. She often felt unworthy, misunderstood, and spiritually empty. And yet, through all these years of confusion, she felt God calling her, not dramatically, but gently, consistently. Like a whisper she could not ignore. Fantasia has spoken about moments when she felt God telling her, "You've used your voice to entertain the world. Now use it to heal." At first, she ran from this calling. She felt imperfect. She felt unready. She felt too broken to be used for something holy. But as she matured emotionally and spiritually, she came to a powerful realization. God does not call the perfect, He perfects the called. This understanding transformed her. Fantasia began praying more, studying scripture, and surrounding herself with people who lifted her spiritually. She let go of people who drained her and embraced people who nourished her peace. And slowly she felt her spirit healing. This healing led her back to her musical roots. For Fantasia, gospel music was not just a genre, it was home. It was the sound of her childhood, the soundtrack of her survival, and the voice of her spiritual identity. But returning to gospel was not an easy choice. Some warned her it would hurt her career. Some said she would lose her mainstream audience. Others told her gospel wouldn't give her commercial success. But Fantasia didn't care. She no longer wanted applause. She wanted purpose. When she performed her faith-centered single, "Have Your Way," everything shifted. Her voice carried surrender, strength, and spiritual truth. The audience felt it. The judges felt it. Even viewers watching at home felt a wave of emotion. It was not just a performance, It was a declaration of her new path. Since that moment, Fantasia has openly embraced her spiritual awakening. She says she is ready to use her music to uplift, encourage, and heal. Her transformation is not about rebranding, it is about rebirth. After years of struggle, confusion, and emotional storms, she says she has finally stepped into the calling God placed on her life long ago. Now, Fantasia is walking into a new era of purpose. She's not just creating songs, she is creating ministry through music. She wants her future albums to reflect her spiritual journey, her healing, and her devotion to God. Her new musical direction is rooted in authenticity, vulnerability, and faith. This shift is powerful because Fantasia's testimony is powerful. She has lived every word she sings. Her music is not built on imagination, it is built on experience. She knows what it means to be broken. She knows what it means to survive. And now she knows what it means to heal. Fans from both her R&B past and her new gospel audience are connecting with her in ways she never expected. Gospel lovers are embracing her sincerity. Longtime fans are inspired by her courage. She's not worried about charts or awards. She is focused on impact. Fantasia wants to collaborate with worship artists, gospel choirs, and spiritual leaders. She wants her concerts to feel like healing spaces. She wants her performances to feel like prayers. She wants her voice to be an instrument of hope. Most importantly, Fantasia says she finally feels peace, something she chased for many years but never found until now. She feels grounded. She feels aligned. She feels closer to God than she has since childhood. For the first time in decades, she knows exactly who she is and exactly why her voice was given to her. At 41, Fantasia Barrino is not entering a new career. She is stepping into her calling. And as she embraces this path, she is proving that success is not about fame, it is about purpose. Her journey is a reminder that God can use pain as preparation and struggle as training. Fantasia's transformation is inspiring millions because it is real, raw, and rooted in faith. Fantasia Barrino's new spiritual journey is not only transforming her personal life and her music, but it is also creating an impact far beyond what anyone expected. For the first time, people who followed her from the beginning say they are seeing a version of Fantasia that feels complete emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. Her current phase is not just a temporary shift or a trend. It is a calling that has been unfolding for years. Today, at 41, she has stepped fully into a space where her voice is no longer just a talent. It is a tool for healing, a tool for restoration, and a tool for change. And this transformation is touching people in ways that entertainment alone never could. One of the strongest impacts of Fantasia's new chapter is the way it resonates with people who feel broken. Many of her fans relate deeply to her life story, not because she is a celebrity, but because she is a survivor. She has spoken openly about struggling with self-worth, identity, heartbreak, manipulation, and emotional exhaustion. Her transparency has given thousands of people permission to confront their own pain. When Fantasia sings now, it doesn't sound like a performance. It sounds like testimony. Her vulnerability is becoming a bridge between her audience and the healing they have been silently praying for. People who never thought they would enjoy gospel or worship music are listening to her because they feel her sincerity. She is reaching people who have been disconnected from faith, wounded by religion, or discouraged by life. Through her music, they are rediscovering hope. This is why many believe Fantasia's future legacy will be very different from what it was originally expected to be. In the past, she was seen as an R&B powerhouse, an American Idol champion, and a vocal icon. But now, she is evolving into something greater, a spiritual storyteller. Her songs are becoming messages. Her performances are becoming ministry. And her voice is becoming a reminder that no matter how far someone feels from God, they can still return. Fantasia often talks about how she used to run from her calling. She believed she needed to be perfect, polished, and pure before stepping into anything spiritual. But now she understands that God uses imperfect people to speak to imperfect people. This is why her music connects so deeply. She sings from real scars, not imagined stories. Her authenticity makes her spiritual message accessible to everyone, regardless of their background. Another powerful part of her new journey is how she views success. In an industry driven by numbers, views, likes, and charts, Fantasia is intentionally stepping away from the pressure to compete. She says her goal is not to be the best, it is to be obedient. Her worth is no longer measured in awards, but in impact. She has openly shared that she would rather sing to a small crowd that leaves healed than a large crowd that leaves entertained. This mindset is rare in modern music culture, and it is one reason her transformation is attracting so much attention. People are watching a woman who could chase fame but chooses purpose instead. And in choosing purpose, she is becoming more influential than ever. Fantasia's journey is also influencing younger generations of artists, especially those who feel torn between faith and fame. Many young musicians look up to her because she is proving that you can honor your calling without compromising your identity. She is showing that spiritual music can be powerful, emotional, and relevant. Her boldness is inspiring others to explore faith-based creativity without fear of judgment. She is opening doors for artists who feel spiritually awakened but professionally restricted. Through her transparency, she is redefining what it means to be a worship musician in the modern world. She stands as a reminder that worship is not defined by genre, it is defined by intention. But perhaps the most meaningful impact of Fantasia's new chapter is the message she is sending. To people who are still in their darkest season, she is proving that a painful story can become a powerful testimony. She is proving that brokenness does not disqualify anyone from walking in purpose. She is proving that God can take someone from the lowest places and elevate them into a life they never imagined. Fantasia's transformation is not just musical, it is spiritual, emotional, and generational. Her life is becoming an example of how healing is possible for anyone who seeks it. She is encouraging people to let go of shame, release their past, and embrace the possibility of redemption. Today, Fantasia says she finally understands why she went through the hardships she did. She believes every trial prepared her for this chapter. Every heartbreak taught her compassion. Every mistake taught her humility. Every comeback taught her strength. And every moment of spiritual emptiness taught her the value of God's presence. Now, when she sings with the weight of her journey. She sings with the authority of someone who has lived through the storm and come out stronger. She sings with the clarity of someone who knows her purpose. And that purpose is no longer hidden. It is shining through every word, every note, and every performance. Fantasia Barrino's fourth chapter. This chapter of healing, worship, purpose, and rebirth is still unfolding, but already it is leaving an unforgettable mark. Fans, believers, and even critics agree on one thing. She is not who she used to be. She has stepped into a higher calling. She has embraced a deeper identity. And she has allowed her voice to become more than music. It has become ministry. At 41, Fantasia is not reaching the end of her story. She is stepping into the chapter she was always meant to live. A chapter written not by fame, not by pain, but by faith.